Now we're going to cover composting. Oh, I didn't tell you, I'm also a master composter. I do volunteer work as a volunteer for the Riverside County Waste Resources. So they'll hold composting sessions, and then at, not seminars, but those, when there's some sort of 3K going on and all the booths, I'm out there too, just talking about it. So we're going to do a little compost here. We're going to talk about it. We're actually going to take its temperature. Where did I put my thermometer? Did I leave it here? Well, if I have my thermometer, we'll take its temperature. Okay, composting. This is where we're helping Mother Nature. You can buy this stuff, but if you have a lot of leaf and that, like mulching even, and you want to recycle it, not throw it away, your food scraps, okay. Leaf litter, and you'll see when we walk up where I get my leaf litter. It's that one tree up there. And for the ingredients, it can vary depending on your situation. Drier climate, you might want more green than brown. But for here, we have a lot of rainfall, a lot of moisture. It's about 50-50. So brown material, green material, water, air, and then the helpers. The helpers are the microorganisms, as well as that beetle that just flew in there with its, laying its egg. That's going to help me too. And of course, the big thing and the biggest deterrent is labor. Are you willing to do this? I could tell you when I started learning about doing it, and they taught us using the welded wire mesh. So it's that square mesh, like 8x8, and I went with a 4x4. And just making a big, and it's a 4 foot high, and doing a 4 foot round. You know what? At the end of the day, and that thing is hot, and I have to turn it, that's a lot of work. And my kids, bless their hearts, were real troopers, but I wanted to be able to do it myself. And what I've learned to use is a geo bin. It's this one right here. And this is also a composter here. They don't really sell these anymore, but this is my collection. I use them, you can see them over there, I use them as planters. And they stack. So when you want to mix it, you just take off the top, and it shrinks too. The compost will start out like this, brown and green, and then it shrinks. It starts to compact as it breaks down and becomes slow. This is the geo bin. Great thing about it is you just roll it up. It has these little pegs. You can make it smaller or bigger. Easy to store.
Where the heck do you get those at?
Well, if you take one of the classes that are offered, the sessions that are offered through the Riverside County Waste Resources, at the end of the session, they'll sell them to you, 3 to a person, $12 each.
Wow.
And they're worth like 80 or something.
Wow.
Because it's subsidized, and they make sure you're from the area. So,
Yeah,
like Dave
that's
here,
right. I'll just buy 'em.
I'll sign one off.
Sweet, thanks.
I don't think they'll check you, but you get at least 3, and have somebody else go, and you get. Actually, you only want one, because really, are you going to be doing 3 at a time? I don't think so. It's so tiring, unless you really have.
I'm just composting in the middle of my bananas.
Oh,
I just
really?
keep throwing them underneath my wood
That's
chips,
a
all my
great way,
compost.
too. That's a great way too. You don't have to.
They just love food.
I'm going to just undo this. So what we do is we actually build a lasagna. You start out with the dry, because you want it to, the dry leaves on the bottom, because you want the water not get stuck, okay, down there. You want it to drain. So this one yesterday was up here. So you can see it's already shrunk. And you can see right here, and it's okay for me to do this, is, you see I've got some dry spots, but you can feel in here it's already really hot. It's really hot,
yeah,
like
it
too
is.
hot.
It is hot.
And it's actually too hot. Oh, and here's my thermometer. Okay, here's my thermometer. The ideal temperature is 130.
Yeah.
Okay? If it gets past 130, like it's at 150, that means turn it right away. I want it to get to 130 and stay there for about 3 days. What it's going to do is it's going to kill all the anaerobic, all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll do 3 readings, and preferably, okay, here's my middle point right here. Okay, this is where the temperature is. So I know I need to plunge it in at least that far. And then when you use this kind of a thermometer, you always handle it right here by the handle. Never pull it from here, because then it starts to compromise the mechanism, and you might get false readings. So I'm going to try to go in the middle up to here, and we're going to just let the temperature see what happens.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
And it might be a dry spot, but you can see already it's going up a little bit. I see another beetle.
So you just layered.
Yeah, I layered it like lasagna.
Oh, those are beautiful beetles.
Yeah, aren't they? And they have these larvae which are really huge. You're gonna, if you ever do this, you'll see these big fat larvae like this, like big. It's from this beetle.
Oh, the big like brown ones.
See, they're trying to burrow themselves in there and lay eggs. So that's good. I'm happy.
Heck yeah.
I'm happy about that. In fact,
you
when
never have to turn this. You're just saying you just layer it in. I'll
you
take that class,
layer
I
it
think.
in, you layer it in, and then when you have to turn it, when it hits that 130, 135 for 3 days, and then I turn it because you want to keep, this is cooler than the inside. So you kind of do an inside out.
So you undo it and.
Well, I can either lift it like this, just shimmy it, or I just undo it right here. I literally, I just undo this, see? And it comes out. And then I have it on the other side. And what I have been doing too is this gets smaller. So what I do is I take this out and I move this in and I make my compost pile a little bit smaller. You want to have at least, I want to say a 3x3, because if you just had a 1x1, not effective. So you want to have that mass, but it will flatten out. So there's a certain point where...
Do you water it?
Yes, I just watered it yesterday. It started out, but I watered it again because, you know, I had all these dry spots. I really didn't want it to go too active because I wanted to show you guys. And in fact, I'm going to turn the water on now. You want to make sure that it's completely saturated so that you can see water running down out of the bottom. And another thing I do, you can leave this bin by itself. So you can see I'm watering. You can leave the bin by itself and not even cover it, but I want to retain that heat throughout. So I'm going to put the tarp. Especially in a colder environment, you've got to tarp them. And what
So
I
that's
have
to
here-
keep the heat in. If it's really hot, you might still want to cover it so you can keep the moisture.
Keep the moisture in.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I have put, yeah, I'm going to turn this off. I recycled some plastic to put on top. Another thing you can use is a rug, a piece of rug remnant. That's what I had on here before, and it just started to fall apart. So I had these. But I basically lasagna it, dry matter at the bottom so that it doesn't get stuck. Never have, grass is probably a real common thing to put in here. Don't put it in wet because grass turns, it just gets kind of slimy and anaerobic. And you know what? That will never go away. You can go through the entire composting process and that slime will still be there. Ingredients to avoid. Any kind of fecal matter, meats. This is not that kind of composting. It has to be dry leaves, you know, newspaper, things like that. Bins or piles. You can do a pile and just leave it there, and maybe many of us have. You have some pile somewhere on your property, especially if you have a big property and you forget about it. Well, that's cold composting. This is hot composting. I want this to happen, and this should happen within 12 weeks. Cold composting, where even that mulch pile, yeah, eventually that will break down, you know, but it's going to be 6 months, a year down the line. Okay, if you just leave it alone. But if you want to heat up the process, that's what this is. Location. Depending on where you live, I don't know, I think all of us have a little bit of property, so this is where I tell you don't put it up next to a fence. It could start on fire, microorganisms, bugs. Don't put it up next to your house. Keep it out in the open, in a sunny location preferably. And then building the anaerobic pile. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's where I covered. Anaerobic pile means it's kind of dead. It's not aerobic. 6 months or more for anaerobic. aerobic or thermal or hot. There's different way terminology. 10 to 12 weeks. I'll probably turn this anywhere from 3 to 5 times, preferably 5 times, till I get my final result. And troubleshooting. Let's see. I'm not getting any temperatures. It's probably too dry. I don't have the right mix. And let me tell you what the temperature is right here. And this one's probably a little dry, but you know what? It says 128. I'm at my 130 mark. This thing is working. This is cooking.
When did you start that?
Yesterday.
Oh, yesterday.
Last night. And I didn't even water it properly. You saw I had dry spots. So this is pretty awesome right now.
Will you tell me what you layered in there?
I'll go over that right now. Okay, I can tell you that I use right here. Oh, right over here. Here are my products. Leaves. I have a fruitless flowering pear up by the house, and I get a lot of leaves. This is my dry. But if you didn't have enough dry, you know where I went on Friday? I went to the feed store. Because you know what? I don't have green. Where am I going to get green? Right here. The tailings from they call this chaff or chaffé. And so you go to any feed store and you say, hey, can I get some of your chaffé? Heck yeah, they're not going to discourage you from doing their sweeping for you, or you're doing sweeping for them.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, this is the stuff from the hay bales.
Awesome.
Okay, make sure, even though it's dry, look at the color. This is green. Green is green.
Thank you.
If I had cattle out here or goat, they're not going to eat this. This is a straw bale. Okay, and that's what you see over there, those straw bales. This is used for bedding. So some little animal comes out, he's going to go, ooh, look at this. Rich, rich, rich. So if you need green, there you go. Just remember that this is a little bit more concentrated. So when I'm doing my 50 to 50, you can see this is going to compost really hot, and it's going to compost easily because it's in small pieces. If you wanted to compost anything a little bit quicker and you have a chipper, throw these leaves right here, yeah, I could chip them down to have more surface area, right, to get dampness for the microorganisms to start working. So I actually layered with these two, and then my last layer was straw. So I want to.
That's green. That's brown. That's brown.
That's brown. That's brown, and this is green.
Okay.
And anything green, like fresh green grass.
So
Anything
you did 50-50 between the green and
Yeah,
the brown.
50-50. But I kind of deferred a little. I did more because I don't really have the problem, like say in a drier climate, with creating for it to survive and do well. I don't need so much green here. We really don't, even though they might say inoculate it, you know, with whatever it is. You really don't need it. So I did more like 2/3, a third, or yeah, something like that. And you're safe. Because this is so fine, and you just got to make sure to get this. This is like alfalfa and Timothy hay. The grass. This is grass, so that's pasture grass, and then Timothy hay. It's a combination. Look how fine this is. Look at it. This is just going to burn up. Even though you see some dry in there, yeah, it got mixed, but this is real. This really is green. Okay.
I have a lot of manure, so I'm just trying to figure out. It's all cold composting of that right now.
Yeah, and that'll cold compost quickly. If you had manure in here, it's hot. It's very, very hot to use that. It'll compost very quickly because that really is.
Would that be considered the brown?
No, I wouldn't consider it the brown. I would consider it the green.
Okay.
Yeah, I would definitely not consider it the brown. So the microorganisms that you have working in that pile, there's 3. Woo! Sorry. There's this right over here. I'll put this up. The helpers. The psychophilic. So when the pile is at 50 to 70 degrees, that's when the psychophilic microorganisms are working. Mesophilic from 70 to 90, and then the thermophilic. So as the pile works, they kind of back off and let the next group come in, and as it cools down, the same thing. Okay, so there's constantly microorganisms in motion. And here's my objective, 130 to 140 degrees. You maintain this for 3 to 4 weeks by turning the pile It destroys most of the weeds. So if you have weeds, you can throw them in there too.
Mm.
Okay.
I got Bermuda grass. That's the one thing I don't love.
Oh, I hate Bermuda grass. Now you could put it in there, it'll burn it up.
Yeah.
You've got a compost pile going, it'll burn it up.
Yeah, and you know, I just put cardboard on it, and then I put 2 feet of wood chips on the cardboard,
Oh,
and then
good.
it does go away. But on the borders of my property to my neighbors, I can't put wood chips on their property, but that's okay.
Right, you're
So I have it, and it creeps in. You got to be very vigilant. But at the end of the day, you got to learn how to live with Bermuda grass.
Yeah, you
I
do.
do anyway.
I have it here, you know. There's some growing over there. Yeah, you kind of have to learn to live with it. So here is pictures of some fungi, bacteria, actinomyces. You can't really see, but that's the gray ashy look that you get in the wood pile. It's not burning, it's not on fire, it's not ash. It just has a gray ashy look, and it just shows that it's working.
What's it called? Acetomyces?
Actinomyces.
Is that a fungus?
Actinomyces. It's one of the
and then when you dig in the wood chips, it kind of like
microorganisms. It's part of the microorganisms.
it kind of is a dust. Like if
Yeah,
you
it
dig it,
is.
it'll kind of get in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
think the first time I moved my wood chip pile, I got super sick because I breathed it in.
Well, you know what?
I actually like puked all over the place like an hour later, and it was so
So
weird.
you're sensitive to it.
Maybe, yeah. And so now I wear a mask whenever I move the wood chips,
Okay.
and then it's
Yeah,
fine.
you should, because myself, I'm allergic to a lot of weeds. I can't pull them out with my hands, especially the spiny, the bristly
Stinging
weeds.
nettle.
I mean, think about it. Those weeds, they're trying to survive. So yeah, that's why they look the way they're looking.
Yeah.
They're saying, "Stay away. I'm trying to help the soil here. Leave me alone." And I got a short lifespan, so.
Yeah, we have
fantastic.
fight or flight, which means we can run away, but plants can't run
plants
away.
can. Very good. That's a great point. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, use that. I got it from Jay Behringer. He makes compost out in Phoenix. I buy
really?
his local compost.
Well, we have, you can see up there, I have a lot of mustard still growing. I weed whacked some of it just so we can walk up there. But it's totally edible. Have you guys eaten mustard before?
No, not
No.
Those flower tops, the yellow?
yet. I'd love
And
to
you know
try
what?
it.
The bees love it. Right
Bees
now,
love it, yeah.
there's not a whole lot of bloom out there because I've got a woodland here. But I have some food for them. It's those mustard seeds, even though they were imports. Do you know where they came from? Well, when the Spanish were traveling along the coast, they used them to mark the ports. We're going to plant some mustard here, so then when we come back the next year, oh yeah, there they are.
Oh
And
gosh.
it's just spread. It's in every country except Antarctica.